how? How did we invent this? How did we develop these technologies? These life-changing innovations happened because there was a sense of urgency, a need for a bold new approach. We did this. Now, we must build technologies to cure disease. Build an MRI that can detect pancreatic cancer at a microscopic level. Diagnose disease with a single drop of blood. Restore sight with a prosthetic eye that communicates directly with the brain. How? How can we do this? HARPA, the Health Advanced Research Projects Agency, will leverage public and private resources to develop transformative tools that drive unimaginable innovation in medical research. How? HARPA. We can do this now.
This is Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Ruach Kodash. Double honors my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect, who in the house of David reborn again in this generation. And shalom to the 130 Yasharallah, who today are known as the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians, who before losing their true heritage were known as, and still are, the true Hebrew Israelites of the Holy Bible. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about HARPA. Right? It's the new government agency which Joe Biden basically announced during his last 100-day speech, right? Let's go ahead and just read this article and this intro, and then I'll get into it a little bit more. It says, in his biggest speech yet, Biden pitches a new health agency to help end cancer as we know it. Washington, in one of the most emotional moments of his first major address to Congress, President Biden on Wednesday called on lawmakers to help him end cancer as we know it. The bold pledge came after Biden gave a high-profile endorsement of his administration's proposal to create a new biomedical research agency aimed at developing breakthrough treatments for conditions including cancer, Alzheimer's diseases, and diabetes. So, as the scripture I just read said, man, these devils, right? When I say these devils, I'm talking about the deceivers, right? Because these people who are in power today, they biblically are known as the Edomites, right? The wicked nation, which was prophesied in the Bible. You can go ahead and read Obadiah and pretty much all of Job, right? To read all about them, right? That the Bible prophesies that this nation of people, the Edomites, would basically have the whole world in subjection at the end time, right? And that they would rule by their might, by the sword, okay? And that they would have everything upside down. The world will be in a wicked and fallen state, right? And that they would be in rulership when the Lord would return for his second coming, right? And not only that, but that they themselves will attempt to stand up against the Lord and try to fight him and his angels when he returns, right? Now, the thing about the Bible is that this prophecy had to play out, right? You had to find out what group of people were actually going to be in power at the end times. Well, the writing is now on the wall. We now understand who runs the world, right? Who is making all these morally objectionable decisions around the world, right? Who is destroying the things, right? It is these so-called Caucasians who, when you get into Bible prophecy, it clearly points that they are the Edomites. When you get into historic records, their own records declare themselves to be the descendants of the Edomites, okay? So, like I said all that to say this, right? Joe Biden now declaring a heartfelt announcement that him and his administration are finally going to tackle cancer, and along with all these other diseases that they've had the power to eradicate before, right? But now they're going to do it, right? Well, guess why? Well, there's an ulterior motive to do it, right? And this article here that I found on Zero Hedge, for the most part, outlines what they're actually doing with this new agency, HARPA, which ultimately, I'm going to cut to the chase, it's going to ultimately lead to the mark of the beast, right? It's going to be one of the cornerstones of Esau's, system that he's going to create to rationalize the implantation of the microchip. This is why when I read that part about biometric, right, technology that they are going to develop, well, what do you think that biometric technology is going to go back to, man, right? What you're looking at here in this image are these identification rings, right, that can read your heartbeat, your blood glucose levels and everything, right? But these things can fall off, and when you're in surgery, you can't have these things on. So what are they going to do? They're going to want to implant something they're going to claim is more stable, more secure, right? It'll be easier to use. This is all going to lead to the mark of the beast, right? But before I get onto that, let's just go ahead and read this article, and we'll go ahead and break down scriptures as we go on, right? It says, this Biden proposal could make the U.S. a digital dictatorship, right? Because you see, one thing that we're actually going into right now is a technocracy, right? Which basically these elites are now going to be able to control the vast majority of the population through technology, man, right? If you want to kind of get a glimpse of this, you can see what they're doing over in China right now with the social credit system, okay? That's pretty much what they're going to do over here in America, but they're going to bring it in a little different manner. They're going to bring it in through the medical, the medical sides of things, man, right? If you're going to want, or the medical side and also the economic, sector, right? If you're going to want to, store your money, you're going to want to work, you're going to want to be able to get health care and be taken care of, you're going to have to be part of this system that they are setting up right now, okay? But to do that, you will have to take that mark of the beast, okay? And one of the things that you're going to need to take that mark of the beast for is because that RFID implantable chip that's going to go into your hands or into your forehead is going to also be a way for you to verify your jab status, right? This is why right now they're pushing through these jabs like crazy, because they need to have a precedent to be able to require this thing, man, okay? But let's get back to this article. It says, a new proposal by Biden's administration to create a health-focused federal agency modeled after DARPA is not what it appears to be. Promoted as a way to end cancer, this resurrected health DARPA conceals a dangerous agenda. And these were here called Aura Rings biometric trackers, right? See, these are just some of the things that these biometric technologies are going to lead to, right? Ultimately, it's going to be wearable tracking systems like your Fitbits, your Apple Watch, and all that stuff, and eventually and rings like this, and eventually the RFID implantable chips or the Neuralink implantable brain chip. Continuing, last Wednesday, President Biden was widely praised in mainstream and healthcare-focused media for his call to create a new biomedical research agency modeled after the U.S. military high-risk, high-reward Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, or DARPA, right? And if you remember DARPA, they're that company that recently came out talking about they made an injectable chip, or gel-like substance that can monitor your blood for COVID and also help cleanse your blood of the COVID disease, man, right? You see, this is it's all lining up, people. It's all making sense now, right? It's what we've been telling you here at Great Millstone, that these devils, they're going to bring forth a RFID implantable microchip, right? This is all what it leads to, right? As touted by the president, the agency would seek to develop initiatives and breakthrough treatments for cancer, Alzheimer's disease, and diabetes, with a call to end cancer as we know it. Far from ending cancer in the way most Americans might envision it, the proposed agency would merge national security with health security. There you go. That's what it is. This is how they get a control of you, people. They're going to turn your health into a national issue, right? So if you're sick and you don't want to get these jabs, you don't want to get this chip, you are now going to be considered an enemy of the state. You are now the problem, right? In such as way as to use both physical and mental health warning signs to prevent outbreaks of disease or violence before they occur. Such a system in a receipt for a technocratic pre-crime organization with the potential to criminalize both mental and physical illness as well as wrong think, right? And what is wrong think? Wrong think is what the government, these elites in power, these Edomites, don't want you to basically share, right? This is why right now, us here on YouTube and around the net, on social media, we are being punished for pushing out the truth of the Bible, right? That the Negroes, Latinos, Native Indians are the true Hebrew Israelites of the Bible, that the so-called Israelis that are in the land of Israel today are not the Jews of the Bible. They are in fact the Edomites of the Bible, right? Them along with all the other Caucasians in the world, they all make up one conglomerate nation known as Edom, just as all the Negroes and Latinos and Native Indians in the world, along with anybody whose father's lineage goes back to that bloodline, all make up a conglomerate nation known as Israel, right? These are the hidden nations of the world, right? These are just two of the 18 nations that the Bible recognizes in Genesis chapter 10, okay? But that's another lesson. But let's go and continue with this article. The Biden administration has asked Congress for $6.5 billion to fund the agency, which would be largely guided by Biden's recently confirmed top science advisor, Eric Lander. Lander, formerly the head of the Silicon Valley Dominant Broad Institute, has been controversial for his ties to eugenicist and child sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein, right? You see these devils, man, they're all in the same group, people, right? Birds of a flock, or birds of a feather flock together. So the thing is these devils, they though they pretend to be separate, man, in different agencies, they're all working for the same agenda. And that's because in the background, they're all part of the same occult secret societies, right? They all work for the old boys club, right? But ultimately, all that goes back to them knowing who they are biblically, that they are the Edomites, and that ultimately they need to get rid of their enemies, who they understand are us, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians, right? This is why they're all connected. This is why you always see the same names pop up. And his relatively recent praise of James Watson, an overtly racist eugenicist, right? And why are these people eugenicists? Well, because, just like Margaret Sanger, one of the founders of Planned Parenthood, who came out saying that they must never let it out that they are trying to exterminate the Negro race, right? And the colored races, right? For the most part, because again, they see the Negro and the colored races as weeds in the Garden of Eden, right? That's what those devils thought, man, right? And then you also have other devils out there, man, that they understand that they are God's tool for selection for death upon the earth, that they understand that they are the pale horse, right? And so these devils, they know what their job is here, man. Now the thing is they're actually going to try to complete their task, which is to destroy the population of the world, right? This is why on their own 10 commandments, known as the Georgia Guidestones, these people are out there talking about lowering the world's population from 8 billion, pretty much 8 billion, which we're at right now almost, to 7 to 500 million, right? That's basically killing about 7.5 billion people that are alive today. Right? Despite that, Landers is set to be confirmed as the Senate and Congress, and is reportedly significantly enthusiastic about the proposed new health DARPA. The new agency, set to be called HARPA, would be housed within the National Institute of Health, NIH. Right? And these are the devils who are behind all the C-19 proposals that are going on right now, man. Them along with the WHO and these are the same agencies these devils are using to push forward their agenda, and would raise the NIH budget to over 51 billion. Unlike other agencies at NIH, HARPA would differ in that the projects it funds would not be peer reviewed prior to approval, right? So these devils, they're not going to try to go out there and get peer reviewed, get other people's approval for what they're trying to do. No, because what they're doing is they're going to be pushing forward these mark of the beast technologies, man. So they just need to get it out there. They don't need to, muck it up or delay it, because these devils are in a great hurry to get their agenda done, because they understand that the Lord is on his way back and that the Israelites are waking up. Hence videos like the one I'm making right now, right? They understand that if they don't move with haste, that their goals of world domination and putting down the majority of the world's population will be done for, man. It says, instead, handpicked program managers, right? Handpicked program managers. Who do you think that's going to be? You think that's going to be Jake? Or it's going to be Ephraim? No, man. This is going to be Edomites, elite eugenicists, man. The people who have the world elitists know are their yes men and yes women to push forward their depopulation agenda and their their implanting of the world and stuff like that, right? Would make all funding decisions. Funding would also take the form of milestone-driven payments instead of the more traditional multi-year grants. HARPA will likely heavily fund and promote mRNA jabs as one of the breakthroughs that will cure cancer. Some of the mRNA jabs manufacturers that have produced some of the most widely used C-19 jabs, such as Pfizer's BioNTech jabs, stated just last month that cancer is the next problem to tackle with mRNA tech. Post C-19, BioNTech has been developing mRNA gene therapies for cancer for years and is collaborating with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to create mRNA-based treatments for tuberculosis and HIV. Right? Our innovative technologies, Lucky, that will be a focus of this agency, are less well known to the public and arguably more concerning. The long road for HARPA. HARPA is not a new or exclusive Biden administration idea. There was a previous attempt to create a health DARPA during the Trump administration in late 2019, right? And you see that? That's because, you see, it doesn't matter which president is selected and put into place of, or is playing the puppet at the moment. These devils are all pushing the same agenda. This is why nothing ever changes, because the real owners of the society, the Edomite kings of the world, the one percenters, the bankers, these Edomites, they have an agenda that they are ultimately pushing the world, through, man, right? And that's ultimately what's happening here, right? This is why this HARPA agency has been in the works since before. I bet you it's been in the works before Trump, man. It just probably got put on the books in the Trump administration. Biden began to promote the idea during his presidential campaign as early as June 19th, albeit using a very different justification for the agency than what had been pitched by its advocates to Trump in 2019. The same foundation and individuals currently backing Biden's HARPA had urged then President Trump to create HARPA, not for the main purpose of researching treatments for cancer or Alzheimer's, but to stop mass shootings before they happened through the monitoring of Americans for neuropsychotic warning signs. You see that? So this company here, HARPA, that's going to be supposedly out there to cure cancer and bring forward this other biotechnology, one of their technologies that they're actually working on is brain scans, right? They're going to brain scan you to check to make sure that you are not thinking wrong, right? Because remember Biden had Justice Roberts confirmation. He told Justice Roberts that he would vote on if it would be legal for the government to mandate the implantation of the RFID chips and brain scans.
Can a microscopic tag be implanted in a person's body to track his every movement? There's actual discussion about that. You will rule on that, mark my words, before your tenure is over. Can brain scans be used to determine whether a person is inclined toward criminality or violent behavior? You will rule on that.
Well, you see, that right there is now coming to light. And why is that? Because these devils, it's not because they could tell the future. No, it's because they have an agenda which has been laid out long before, which they are now playing out now, right? And we now are simply just being told or being let in on the big secret that they have set up. For the last few years, one man has been the driving force behind HARPA, former vice chair of General Electric and former president of NBC Universal, Robert Wright, though through the Susan Wright Foundation, named after his late wife, Wright has spent years lobbying for the agency that would develop biomedical capabilities, detection tools, right? That's your brain scans and your scanning your bodies for diseases and whatnot. Treatments, medical devices, that right there would be an RFID chips, right? Implantable tracking devices, cures, etc., for the millions of America who are not benefiting from the current system, right? And this is another reason why the medical system here in America has been allowed to be so lousy. Okay, and it's not really just because these devils are profiting hand over fist with the crony medical system that's in place today, but because they understand that in the end they're going to offer free medical services, right? Socialized medicine or Medicare for all as a solution, to our problems, but that they're going to make us take the RFID chip to get it, right? While he, like Biden, has cloaked the agency's actual purpose by claiming it will be mainly focused on treating cancer, Wright's 2019 proposal to his personal friend Donald Trump revealed his underlying ambitions. Now check this out, Akim. This is where these devils get tricky. As first proposed by Wright in 2019, the flagship program of HARPA would be Safe Home, a short for Stop Abhorrent Fatal Events by Helping Overcome Mental Extremes. Safe Home, right? That's what that stands for. Basically, pre-crime, right? They're gonna scan your brain. They're gonna check your social media. They're gonna go through everything of your life, man. Right? Your Alexa, your Android smart home, your Apple's watch, and they're gonna check to see everything that you're doing, right? And they're gonna determine if you are likely to create a crime. Okay? They're gonna be monitoring your social media, your videos, what you're saying, right? These devils, they think they're slick, but they're not, man, right? Short for Stopping Abhorrent Fatal Event, blah, blah. Safe Home would suck up masses of private data from Apple Watches, Fitbits, Amazon Echoes, and Google Home, and other consumer electronic devices, as well as information from healthcare providers to determine if an individual might be likely to commit a crime. The data would be analyzed by artificial intelligence algorithms for early diagnosis of psychiatric violence. Right? So these devils, man, see, they're just looking for ways to trap you up. This is Psalms 10 and 8. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. The Department of Justice pre-crime approach, known as DEEP, was activated just months before Trump left the office. So you see that, people? There is already a pre-crime scanning program out there that is going through all your social media, going all through Facebook, all through Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, everything, and it's just scanning and downloading massive amounts of data, right? And it's keeping an eye on things, right? And this program is called DEEP, right? And they initiated this shit right before Trump came into office, man, right? And they did it under that bastard Bill Burr, or he initiated it, man. But let's continue. It says, it was also justified as a way to stop mass shootings before they happened. Soon after Biden's inauguration, the new administration began using information from social media to make pre-crime arrests, right, as part of its approach towards combating domestic terror, right? And check this out. FBI arrest activist Daniel Baker over post about police abuse and self-defense. There you go, right? So this just shows you what these devils, are doing, man, right? They're hiding in the lurking places of the cities, man. Right? They're sitting back there reading the posts, watching these videos. But the great thing is that these devils are really trying to get us, the Israelites of the Bible, man. But the great thing is that the true men of the Lord, we're just out here reading the Bible and pointing out what these devils are actually doing, man. How they're trying to trip up our people, how they're trying to catch us, for simply trying to exist, trying to live, and not be under their medical tyranny, man. But this is the way of the devil, right? These are the things that we're going to ultimately have to put up with, right? This is Proverbs 22 and 3. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished, right? Because a lot of people are going to be taken up by not only this new agency's approach to healthcare, right, and hidden surveillance, but all the other rhetoric and tricks that these devils are doing, from the mass scaring of the population to get jabbed up, right? Even though we're about a month or two away from herd immunity, supposedly, and that besides that, like, that the recovery rate from getting sick with this thing is like above 99%, right? These devils have scared and destroyed the minds of so many people that now they have, for the most part, started ruling over the masses in this draconian way, which the Bible said that they would, man. But ultimately, all this is happening because of this. This is Revelations 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. So hopefully this video was edifying, Akim. Just wanted to give you, Akim out there, a bit of information on what's on the horizon, right? What these devils are going to try to bring out, right? But again, like the scriptures say, man, knowledge in the Bible is going to be strength and stability in that time, man. When all these things are coming out. So with all that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Rakal Kodash, double honors my teachers, the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect. Shalom.